analysis most useful and have achieved differential success in predicting the phenomena they are studying. But such differences are as great among, say, physics, biology, medicine, and meteorology as between any of them and economics. Even the difficult problem of separating value judgments from scientific judgments is not unique to the social sciences. I well recall a dinner at a Cambridge University college when I was sitting between a fellow economist and R.A. Fisher, the great mathematical statistician and geneticist. My fellow economist told me about a student he had been tutoring on labor economics, who, in connection with an analysis of the effect of trade unions, remarked, "Well, surely Mr. X, another economist of a different political persuasion, would not agree with that." My colleague regarded this experience as a terrible indictment of economics because it illustrated the impossibility of a value-free, positive economic science. I turned to Sir Ronald and asked whether such an experience was indeed unique to social science. His answer was an impassioned no, and he proceeded to tell one story after another about how accurately he could infer views in genetics from political views. One of my great teachers, Wesley C. Mitchell, impressed on me the basic reason why scholars have every incentive to pursue a value-free science, whatever their values and however strongly they may wish to spread and promote them. In order to recommend a course of action to achieve an objective, we must first know whether that course of action will in fact promote the objective. Positive scientific knowledge that enables us to predict the consequences of a possible course of action is clearly a prerequisite for the normative judgment whether that course of action is desirable. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, precisely because of the neglect of this rather obvious point. This point is particularly important in economics. Many countries around the world are today experiencing socially destructive inflation, abnormally high unemployment, misuse of economic resources, and, in some cases, the suppression of human freedom, not because evil men deliberately sought to achieve these results, nor because of differences in values among their citizens, but because of erroneous judgments about the consequences of government measures, errors that, at least in principle, are capable of being corrected by the progress of positive economic science. Rather than pursue these ideas in the abstract, I shall illustrate the positive scientific character of economics by discussing a particular economic issue that has been a major concern of the economics profession throughout the post-war period, namely, the relation between inflation and unemployment. This issue is an admirable illustration because it has been a controversial political issue throughout the period. Yet the drastic change that has occurred in accepted professional views was produced primarily by the scientific response to experience that contradicted a tentatively accepted hypothesis, precisely the classical process for the revision of a scientific hypothesis. I cannot give here an exhaustive survey of the work that has been done on this issue, or of the evidence that has led to the revision of the hypothesis. I shall be able only to skim the surface in the hope of conveying the flavor of that work and that evidence and of indicating the major items requiring further investigation. Professional controversy about the relation between inflation and unemployment has been intertwined with controversy about the relative role of monetary, fiscal, and other factors in influencing aggregate demand. One issue deals with how a change in aggregate nominal demand, however produced, works itself out through changes in employment and price levels. The other, with the factors accounting for the change in aggregate nominal demand. The two issues are closely related. The effects of a change in aggregate nominal demand on employment and price levels may not be independent of the source of the change, and conversely, the effect of monetary, fiscal, or other forces on aggregate nominal demand may depend on how employment and price levels react. A full analysis will clearly have to treat the two issues jointly. Yet, there is a considerable measure of independence between them. To a first approximation, the effects on employment and price levels may depend only on the magnitude of the change in aggregate nominal demand, not on its source. On both issues, professional opinion today is very different than it was just after World War II, because experience contradicted tentatively.